fundamentals of agriculture. Well, in the introductory part, most of you said that you have some exposure to agriculture. A few of you have studied horticulture, and some of you are actually involved in the agriculture sector, directly or indirectly. Well, this particular course, uh, postgraduate diploma in agriculture business, perhaps is an effort to give an uh, an opportunity for students to understand the business context of agriculture. Now, to begin with, the science of agriculture in India is something not new, and it said that the organized agriculture has almost about 10,000 years. But quite long back, a human being learned how to make use of fire, and then, well, he was gatherer of food. So he used to keep hunting, and well, in the process, found different types of tools to facilitate the production of food in some way. That went on for a very long time, and maybe at some 10,000 years back, the organized farming, when it came into existence, then they started the cultivation of some selected crops. So this is how it started. Now, in fact, the course material of IGNO has captured the historical, what you call growth of the agriculture until now. So, what's more important when it comes to agriculture is, especially in this country, which is very recently crossed the population. We are the highest population in the world today. We have even surpassed um, China. And well, in addition to that, the availability of land in India is just about 2.3%. And we have water resource available, which is just about 4%. So now, if you just look at the land availability, and as well the water resource, which is a very important ingredient required for farming, and then as well the population that we need to support, that is almost 17.5% of the population of the world is being supported in agriculture in India. So it's a tremendous feat. Well, we were just about 50 million tons of food grain production around independence in 1950-51. And whereas we are currently producing over 300 million tons. And this is something which perhaps, we attribute it to a lot of things, how we were able to raise our food production, say, from 50 million tons to 300 million tons. And we also happen to be largest producer of few crops in India. We are highest producer of millets. We also produce certain oil seeds in large quantity. But with all this, the challenge of cultivating more and more quantity of food grains, and as well as maintaining the soil fertility, which plays a very important role. So therefore, it's when we faced the famine-like situation around independence, and from there on, we have come a long way. And today, the agriculture infrastructure that is there in this country is pretty well organized, and it is capable of meeting any challenges. And well, the beautiful advantage with this country is basically the tropical nature. Well, abundant sunshine, that is a gift to India, and various different types of agroclimatic conditions which exist in this country, from tropical to temperate, is a huge opportunity in terms of diversity in agriculture. India offers a huge opportunity, and therefore we have the crops like dry land crops like millets, bajra, finger millet, foxtail millet, little millet. But we also have crops like apple. Then we have these um, like cardamom and pepper. These crops are also grown here, so it offers a very wide variety of opportunities for farmers to grow. Well, not only that, we our agriculture employs a huge number of people. So it's now almost about currently 40% people dependent on agriculture. And this though the participation of people in agriculture has reduced a little bit, but still a large section of the people depend on agriculture. Well, one thing that worries us is certain productivity of certain crops in India compared to some of the other countries is, it's a worrying factor. So, as on today, we are importing oil seeds, for example. A very large quantity of oil seeds we are edible oil we are importing. We're importing something like 19 billion worth, $19 billion worth edible oil. So we are not self-sufficient in certain oils, in certain sectors of agriculture production, and maybe that's the case with pulses too. However, we are fairly well placed when it comes to cereals. What's important to see is, when you look at the history of this country, whether the Ayurveda or Unani or Siddha medicine, they also started long back. Our system also, which is pretty old compared to any other country in the world. So more than 5000 years back, this Ayurveda also existed. So this is how, where the people understood the importance of herbs in the healthcare system. This is something which we have seen. And though in the past few decades, the presence of Ayurveda was not very significant, but it's been of late, it's growing worldwide. So therefore, even when we talk about agriculture, it was just not agriculture, it was also cultivation of medicinal plants, which was a big opportunity in this country. Well, there are a lot of people who have written about the Indian farming system. And one of them I must mention about is Albert Howard, who came as a pathologist to solve the problems of Indian farming, who himself fell in love with farmers' ingenuity in raising crops in India. So that he wrote a book called Testament of Agriculture, an agricultural testament. The title is An Agricultural Testament. So he appreciated the practices then used by our Indian farmers, and that's an appreciation of Indian farming system, which was quite resilient. The production of lots of these field crops, which is mostly coming from, say, about 55% of the land that is India has for agriculture. 40% of the production of the field crops comes from these dry areas, and dry areas where the agriculture depends a lot on rain god. is challenging, but somehow it's because of the practices of dryland farming, which the farmers since ages have understood. It has given resilience. And not only that, to address these issues of water, so the kings, whoever ruled in the past, they went into creation of water harvesting structures. So these water harvesting structures and series of crops to be grown at different times of the year really gave a unique presence to Indian agriculture in world agriculture system. The kinds of crops that we grow, whether it is cereals, pulses, oilseed, commercial crops like cotton, jute, and then plantation crops like coffee, tea, and all these the crops have not only supported our food system, but they have also supported our industries too. So therefore, this sector of agriculture created a huge opportunity for employment. And uh, the growth of Indian agriculture production, when I say agriculture production, which was 50 million tons and 300 million tons, basically came up with lots of contributions, especially the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution introduced high yielding varieties, and the post 1960s 9 agriculture production scenario is pretty different. The in the Soon after independence, the government of India invested lots of money in developing the dam projects, irrigation projects, and these irrigation projects created potential to grow crops, not just one, 2 to 3 crops in a year, and thereby it improved the agriculture production of basically rice and wheat. The introduction of high yielding varieties, high yielding hybrid seeds, especially in wheat and rice, which are responsive to fertilizers. Until Green Revolution, the usage of chemical fertilizers was not much in this country. So it's only after the Green Revolution, the introduction of Green Revolution in this country created demand for fertilizers, which initially was not very much impressive, but later on, when people started finding the difference in application of in the yield by the application of chemical fertilizers, uh, they started applying fertilizers, and they started deriving benefits out of it. And in addition to the application of chemical fertilizers and high yielding varieties and hybrid seeds, their irrigation, additional irrigation potential, and land was brought into farming. So this is how today we were able to manage the improvement increase in the agriculture production. But in between, what happened is, the role, it gave a way for mechanization too. One issue that in India we find is due to huge presence of population, the land holdings are getting fragmented. Today, the land holdings are becoming smaller and smaller, and due to which the productivity in terms of increasing the productivity, we're not being able to do that better. So therefore, this is the area where the challenges are currently. Now we need to have machineries, which farm machineries, though the farm machineries are there now, farm machinery. When I say, it can be sprayers, it can be tools for sowing the seeds, or it is for harvesting, or it is for application of herbicides and all that. So what has happened is, these things have been very well addressed by government of India long back, even when British were ruling us. To fulfill the requirement of food production, they created Imperial Agriculture Research Institute. That Imperial Agriculture Research Institute, after independence, it became Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Today, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, which is a massive organization. It's an organization headed by Director General, and with lots of additional Director Generals. And well, this infrastructure of Indian Council of Agriculture Research, which is responsible for coordinated research across India. They have all India coordinated research project, AIs. They are called AICRPs. Then almost every district has got Krishi Vijnana Kendra, and the agriculture universities are there. Almost 63 different agriculture universities and central universities in this to focusing on agriculture. So basically, this infrastructure, which focuses on research, it focuses on agriculture research, education, and extension. So agriculture research, education, and extension, they form the pillar of agriculture knowledge in this country. So they continuously work. The agriculture universities produce manpower required for agriculture extension, and whereas the scientists taking the field situation, they also work on the research aspects, whether it is management of the soil, or addressing the diseases, or enhancing the fertility of the soil, or developing communication tools to the farmers. So research is today taking place in a massive scale in agriculture through the agriculture universities. And the agriculture extension division of agriculture university always is focusing on taking the research outputs from the agriculture universities to the field through with the help of Krishi Vijnana Kendras. So Krishi Vijnana Kendras are a vital link today between the farmers and agriculture universities. So today we have almost every district, one per district, we have the agriculture Krishi Vijnana Kendra. So these Krishi Vijnana Kendras have been continuously working with the farming community to address the local issues. So that these infrastructure helping us to achieve our targeted yield levels for various crops. So why it is so important in India to focus more on agriculture, where we have to become self-reliant, is because in comparison to any other country, the number of people working on agriculture is quite large in this country. And then we are highly populated, and since we are so highly populated, there is no, if there is any reduction in the agriculture production in the country, this will affect the prices globally. So therefore it is necessary to be very precise when it comes to agriculture in India, where it's usage of land, where the productivity of the land has to enhance, and then the availability of these natural resources like water or soil and climate, because these things have to be appropriately utilized. So basically, agriculture production depends on the sun radiation, and then the soil, and the human effort, which it's basically, the plant is like a bioreactor. So it uses solar radiation, uses the water and the soil, and from where the nutrients are taken up by the plant, and they produce food which is the not only for human beings and as well for livestock. Whereas the grains are used by human beings, the fodder is used by the livestock. So this is how the system has been working very well in this country. Now, since ages, India has always given importance to livestock management, and livestock management has given employment to large number of people in this country. And when it comes to livestock management, we see cattle being there, and this is one country where there are large number of cattle breeds, almost 70 plus breeds were there. So now, when it comes to the state of Karnataka, we have 6 different breeds of cattle. So there is Tharparkar in Rajasthan, there is Gir in Gujarat, Khilar in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh has got Ongol, and Karnataka has got Hallikar, Malnar Gidda, and Krishna Valley, and Amrut Mahal. And when it comes to Tamil Nadu, there is Kangayam. And when it comes to Kerala, there is Vechur. And there's another breed in Telangana area, which is known as Pungnur. So there is huge, the diversity even in livestock. And these were very appropriately used. The farming system had a very major presence of especially bullocks were used for tilling the land. So there were communities who were meant for raising the cattle breeds. So this is how there was resilience in this also. They raised the cattle just not for the sake of milk. They raised the cattle for tilling the land. So this is how a lot of energy was derived from the cattle. So historically, livestock management played a very key role. And then India had a lot of the pastoral lands. Though the pastoral lands are decreasing today because of the pressure on the land, the pastoral lands helped, especially the nomadic tribes like shepherds who moved from one place to another place looking for the grasses. So sheep and goat rearing remained also a very important option for farmers in India. So it is livestock management, sheep and goat, and the beekeeping. All this provided some sort of an integrated approach for raising crops in India. So today, the land management plays a very important role since there is if you take 100 years data of rainfall data, we find that every year more or less it rains the same quantity, though there are certain disturbances due to climate change issues today, but the average rainfall, if you take 100 years, year on year, it's more or less it remains the same. Now what happens is, these days we are talking in terms of more crop per drop. So more crop per drop meaning from every drop we should be able to produce more crop. So this is where we are talking in terms of precision farming. Now, the water is an important gradient. As I earlier mentioned, lots of land in this country is under rain-fed farming. So the rain-fed farming, the problem is the the uncertainty of the rain, and more drought prospects, and then lower yields. So therefore, to address this, the government of India really thought of improving the soil, land management. because the large quantities of lands, quite a large land is subject to what you call erosion. So this erosion is a dangerous thing, because to form 1 inch of topsoil, it takes 100 years. So if the soils are subjected to erosion, then the topsoil, which is very important for agriculture production, if it gets lost, it is going to affect very badly. So therefore, we today have what's known as watershed projects. So these watershed projects, they were earlier funded by World Bank, and even Government of India is investing huge sums of money through National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. These watershed projects, they focus on the protection of the soil by creating trench cum bunds, then waste wear, and then farm ponds. Basically, the idea is to harvest every drop of water that falls on the land, so that these water stored, one is to improve the soil moisture levels, and as well as the harvested water in the stored in the form of a tank to be utilized for critical irrigations. As you know, the crops will have different stages. These are called critical stages. One critical stage is the time of germination, where adequate soil moisture has to be there in the soil. Then at the time of growth, then it's a stage where it is a flowering, then it is fruiting. So these are the, and grand growth stage, these are the stages in which water is very, very important. And if appropriate optimum moisture is there in the soil, the yields are going to be higher. So therefore, it is in this context, watershed management plays a very important role. So today, it is the harvesting every drop of water and management of the fertility of the soil play a greater role. In fact, uh, through this, the sustainable practices are also introduced in the farming sector, it's a use of natural farming systems, and it's a use of biofertilizers to enhance the production and to increase the soil fertility by adding more of biomass. So in fact, the addition of biomass has been very well said by Albert Howard, who appreciated the composting method of India. So, in these were almost as till recently, where the cattle population was fairly good. The indigenous cattle, especially the it's called Zebu cattle, which we call it a cattle which gives A2 milk. This cattle were helpful in enhancing the fertility of the soil. Basically, the fecal matter of the cow dung especially increased the soil microflora. Ever since we started using chemical fertilizers, it affected soil microorganism, and soil microflora got affected. And also today, we see a reduction in terms of earthworm presence in our soil. So this anyway, this has been realized by the farming community, by the departments, and therefore they have started promoting the natural farming and as well as organic farming. So we have been seeing that impact today. We also are playing a major role in implementing good practices in agriculture. So we have started making use of biofertilizers in terms of pest management. Pest management is also very important, because if the pests are not controlled effectively, then there is a chance that the yields are going to be low. So therefore, we have currently integrated pest management. Integrated pest management makes use of different options it's not usage of just chemicals. It is cultural practices. It's also the usage of biopesticides, and these biopesticides help in reducing the consumption of pesticides, and as well as the food is not getting the pesticide residue which normally exists is going to be pretty less. So therefore, various measures have come into place now. The application of biofertilizers has increased in India, and the usage of water has undergone a massive change. uh, you know uh, Once upon a time, when we irrigated the land, it was more of a flood irrigation where it is not economical. And ever since the new projects, dam projects came up in India, there initially people used the water in a very unscientific manner, and it has led to very serious issues like salinity, alkalinity, and some of the lands have become desert also. So therefore, it is important to know the best method of irrigation. So as we started falling in short of water, and more new technologies came into practice. One is the sprinkler irrigation. The sprinkler irrigation well helped us to the make the optimum use of water. And going ahead, we learned a lot from Israel, where they also face acute shortage of water, potable water. So they, with very less rainfall of 200 they started making use of these drip irrigation. They are the pioneers in drip irrigation. And later on, well, we also started making use of the drip irrigation. So that's why we have Prime Minister Sinchai Yojana is also there. So therefore, today, if you just look from the time of 1950s, and where we are today, we have traveled quite a lot. And then in between, we have our organized agriculture research, and the enthusiastic farmers who are all the time working sincerely on the land, focusing on increasing the yields, and also in improving the quality of life. In this regard, we must appreciate the government's effort in creating agriculture pricing commission, so which basically takes care of take care of the farmer who has to be protected from exploitation. So therefore, we have minimum support price for most of the notified commodities. So therefore, what we have seen is there is a system which is working in this country, which is helping us to increase the farmers income through various interventions, by providing loans to the farmers, which are crop loans to the farmers, and then providing training to the farmers through the Krishi Vijnana Kendras, and then organizing Krishi Melas periodically through agriculture universities, a number of exhibitions, and organizations like Agriculture Produce Export Development Authority, and various boards like Cashew Board, the Coconut Board, the and you know. Plantation crops, rubber board, all these organizations are doing a focused effort to enhance the yield of agriculture, and benefit the farmer. The uh, In fact, the government of India encouraged entrepreneurs to invest in production of chemical fertilizers, especially today. We have self-sufficiency with regard to urea. But whereas with regard to diammonium, with regard to potassium fertilizer, and as well as phosphorus fertilizers, we are dependent a lot on imports. So especially the diammonium phosphate, where the raw material orthophosphoric acid has to be imported from Middle East, and as well as potassium fertilizers from Morocco. They are their judicious use is also very, very important today. It's an application of good seed, which is very, very important, because it is said that a very good seed can enhance the production by 25%. So what we say that the enhancement of production by usage of good seed itself, if it can be 25%, is also said that with the proper with the presence of the honeybees, we can increase production by another 25%. So just with these two interventions, if our production can go up, it means that there has to be a careful management of land resources. There is a careful management of water resources. There's a proper management of ecological aspects. It's not that we harm the ecology. Any harm done to the ecology will affect not just human beings. It will affect the entire the system, ecological system. So this has to be borne in mind, and education in this regard has been imparted through lots of institutions, and today we are proud to have quite a good number of agriculture universities, horticulture universities, forestry colleges, which are developing key manpower that is required for improving the agriculture production system. It is just not the improving the agriculture production system to make us globally competitive, because when we think of exporting anything abroad, we need to abide by certain quarantine measures. These quarantine measures play a very important role. So if we don't deliver proper things when we think of export, then the point is we will not be accepted in certain countries. For example, if I have to send roses to, say, Japan, the quarantine restrictions are very strict. So even if there is one presence of one mite on the leaf, under surface of the leaf, the entire consignment will be rejected. So therefore, it is necessary that we exercise control, we exercise good the we follow the good practices in the production system, so that we become competitive. uh, this particular year, um, uh, 2023, is International Year of Millet. And in this in the International Year of Millet, like Government of India few years back wrote to United Nations, and got the June 21st as the International Day of Yoga. Similarly, 2000 because of the effort of Government of India, so we got International Year of Millet this 2023. Now, today we have to make, when the resources are limited, we have to make choices. And we are talking more in terms of nutritional security. We no more talk about food security, we talk about nutritional security. And therefore there are nutraceutical grains with nutraceutical benefits, and millets are one of these, which have the capability to come up on marginal lands. They do not need very fertile land. So they can come up on the marginal lands. They can also need less water. They are drought resistant. They are also pest resistant. And their grains produced from millets can be kept for a longer duration, where there is no pest infestation. So the millets offer a huge opportunity in for India currently to take it globally. And there is a dedicated organization promoted by Indian Council of Agriculture Research called Indian Institute of Millet Research, based at Hyderabad, has been working since many years on on the best technologies that are required to promote the nutraceutically these grains with nutraceutical benefits. Similarly, oil seeds. We have oil seed at project directorate for oil seeds. We have for rice research for various crops. Government of India through Indian Council of Agriculture Research has created scientific bodies which are focusing on the improving the yields. So these we have touched upon water, we have touched upon seed. I would like to say a few more things about the seed today. A very good quality seed can really improve the yield substantially. So there are large number of companies working in India, whether it is Syngenta or Buyers or Cargill. They make use of Indian. I mean, they are making use of the Indian human farm-based human resource in producing seeds. And today, we are also the exporter of seeds to these companies to various other countries. Now, it's a time that most of the seeds that are produced in this country today are basically are of vegetable seeds, but there is a need to address issues related to the cereals and pulses and oils, is where there has to be a presence of organizations to produce good quality seeds so that our production can increase. So what's required today is an organized effort. The farmers have to work not as an independent entity. They will have to come together, and that's a reason Government of India even thought of farmer producer organizations. So farmer producer organizations is forming a farmer producer organization either under the Companies Act or through the Cooperative Act, is an effort to bring farmers together and make them think, understand what issues really bother them, and then finding solutions for that. Especially, it's for collective bargaining, and as well as for better marketing facilities and value addition to agriculture commodities. So this effort is also going on. So more than 10,000 farmer producer companies were targeted by the government, and today most of these companies have started functioning. Maybe they are in the second or the third year. They are promoted by NAFED, National NAFED, and as well as for NABARD, and as well as by Indian Institute of Millet Research, and various other government organizations are supporting the formation of the farmer producer companies. There are farmer producer companies even in sericulture. So there is these institutions are also promoting farmer producer companies. So this is again a step ahead, in Indian agribusiness sector, where from these the it was a way of life. It was and farming in India was never considered as a business. Today we are talking about agribusiness, and for farmer producer companies is taking that role. There has been a shift. Years ago we spoke about the cooperative movement, and today we are talking in terms of farmer producer companies, where business is the motto. So I'm sure we have come a long way in addressing various issues that bothered us in India with regard to agriculture production. We started addressing the issue of water. We brought land reforms so that you know the traditional way of zamindars maintaining the land and laborers working on it. Through land reforms, the tiller of the land became the owner of the land. It gave more scope for him to work in a dedicated manner to improve agriculture production. We brought more water projects, dam projects, so that the dry areas are no more dependent on monsoon, but they get water during the non-rainy season to raise crops. And then we have innumerable institutions formed under Indian Council of Agriculture Research to develop the work on research, and as well as come up with the packages of practices for farmers to raise their yields. And then agriculture marketing facilities to the provide better marketing facilities to the farmers. And then, the agriculture technologies, whether it is a greenhouse, it is a polyhouse, or it is a shade net, and various departments within the state where to address issues related to agriculture production, then the forestry, and then the horticulture. These this infrastructure is working in a very collective manner, and therefore today we have achieved a progress. 305 million tons production today, from 50 million tons in 1951 and 52, is a massive achievement for Indian farming. I take this opportunity to congratulate everybody who is involved in in this current situation, be it agriculture universities, be it agriculture department, be it the farmers, or be it various allied departments who have continuously been working to improve the status of farmer, has been making us a proud nation. One beautiful thing about this is we are a tropical country. We have a huge opportunity to raise multiple crops, and traditionally there is an accumulated knowledge about farming in this country. Agriculture is nothing new, and people know crop rotation, they know multiple cropping, they know about the sustainability of sustainable management of the lands. So what it needs is a coordinated approach to meet the global needs, so that we not only produce for us, but we produce for the globe, so that our we can also make earn foreign exchange by exporting. So today, we from self sufficiency of food grains, we need to produce more for export. And then the agriculture contribution in GDP, which earlier used to be major contribution, is now reduced to just about 14 to 18%. So this GDP contribution from agriculture, if it has to go up, it has to be through the we need to have that business approach in this, so that we make the appropriate use of the resources, and then we achieve the our goals of agriculture production, and also export possibilities. So in this regard, i I conclude this session, and I keep this session open for questions. Any questions? Hello? Yes.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I want to ask the difference between prehistoric and historic agriculture.
Okay, that's prehistoric is, it's basically they say 500 500 millions, because Earth is 4.3 billion years. Earth is for it's 4.3 billion years, and it's about 500 billion years, which can be called prehistoric. Ever since the man started understanding the usage of tools for making, to facilitate the agriculture production, then that it can be called historic.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Himashuji, you are from which place?
Sir, I am from Kathal, Haryana.
Haryana. Yeah, you are a nation known for, you are a state known for Bajra.
Yes, sir.
And then you also have one of the best, Indian Dairy Academy is there. It's in Hisar, if
Sir,
I'm
yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir. In Karnal, there is dairy, sir. NDRI
Yeah, yeah. NDRI, National Dairy Research Institute, is
Institute.
located
Yes, sir.
in Karnal. And then
Yes, sir.
what are you doing, Himanshuji?
Sir, I am doing job in a private company.
Yes. So what are you working? You are in dairy sector or in agriculture
No, no,
sector
sir.
or in what?
Agriculture sector, sir. Development sector.
Okay, okay. What are you there? In which department are you working?
Sir, I am a cluster coordinator in agriculture.
Oh, you are a cluster coordinator. You are working for Atma?
No, sir. I am working with IPS Foundation.
Okay, okay, okay. Wonderful. Very nice. Well, yeah. Maybe I think you have anything to do on millets in, because this being International Year of Millet, is there anything that you are doing in Haryana? Because I know Bajra. I did help few farmers of Haryana when they were participating in an exhibition in Pragati Maidan few years back. So they had made a lot of products from Bajra.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I have completed my MSc Agriculture last year, sir, 2022.
Oh, you are from which Hisar Agriculture University?
Sir, I have completed BSc Agriculture from Punjabi University, Patiala,
Okay.
and MSc Agriculture from Guru Kash University, Bathinda, sir.
Bathinda. Yeah, yeah. You are very close to Ganganagar district.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ganganagar district is
Bathinda
very
is very
near
close to
from Bathinda.
Ganganagar
Yes.
district. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Himashuji.
Yes, sir. That's why I am fresher, and I came to chance in joining IPS Foundation, and I am working with IPS Foundation. And as time spends, then I came to know about different organizations.
Yeah. Now, what you can do is you can make a note of my number, 74
Yes, sir. Sam for
116
116
960
960
57.
57.
Yeah, I just would like to, add one thing. Government of India started promoting floriculture units somewhere in the year 1992, and since then, from zero, it was Oriental Flora Tech, which was Tata organization. They were one of the earliest to export roses, and from then on, India has made a fairly big headway into flower production. Today we are producing roses, we are producing carnations. Well, this is what I'm trying to say is, this is a orientation to business. So we were not exporting roses before, but today we are exporting rose fresh flowers. We were not, in fact, today we are making value addition to some products, like we are making use of marigold flowers. We make use of pigment, and that pigment is also used in various other like areas like poultry feed. So therefore, I mean, you find that there has been a considerable improvement in terms of value addition in various agriculture commodities. So for example, when it comes to millets, till almost 10 years back, we were not doing anything more out of millets. Today you make cookies, you make cake, you make noodles, you make pasta, you have varieties of things. And it has not only created new entrepreneurs, and this what you call a strong link. There has to be entrepreneurship in agriculture, which is very very important. Otherwise, if it is for if it is a subsistence farming, then we are not going to gain much. So there has to be value addition, and these value added products need to be found market. Today, I see a couple of years back, millets were not there on the supermarkets in England. Today millets are available in England, and because of the effort of certain entrepreneurs here in India, well, today jackfruit products are found in US. So therefore, this kind of entrepreneurship is very much required. Yes.
Sir, one more question. Can you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tell us about, sir, tell us about the basic and important questions of Block 1 Indian agriculture?
What I suggest is Indian agriculture. If you have received the books, actually, the course books you have received.
Sir, course book are in soft copy, not hard copy.
Oh, yeah, soft copy. Now, what you can do is there are, say, in this particular block one, we have basically five units: evolution and development of agriculture, soil and water conservation, irrigation and drainage, soil fertility management, pest and disease management. So, these five units are there in block one, and at the end of every unit you find few questions, and that is basically to help you understand, to check whether you are able to understand. For example, how animal husbandry is a part of the integrated agriculture system is one question. What are the advances made in the fisheries sector? Because today the inland fisheries was not there in the past. So today we are talking about inland fisheries, especially in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana area. There is a huge presence of inland fisheries to as a part of blue revolution. A green revolution is for agriculture, yellow revolution is for oil seeds, and white revolution is for milk. So blue revolution is for water. Fisheries. So like that, what I'm trying to say is every unit in this book, you will have questions. For example, you have write your answer in the this is 1.2. Name any two programs initiated for the development of Indian agriculture after independence, and what is the role of chemical fertilizers in crop production? So the questions like these are there at the end of every unit. So these five units, basically they have almost about 126 pages. If you read these questions at the end, and as well as you look back some of the questions that are there in the question paper, old question papers are also available. You can look at that, and then you look at the assignment questions. Basically, once you prepare yourself for assignment questions, that will help you a lot. So writing assignments will keep you ready almost 50% for the exam itself.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just have 5 minutes break. I'll just join you back in 5 minutes break.